So, welcome to Psalmscast. This is still March 31st. This is part two. We're having to break it in segments to accommodate our free software we're using. First, I wanted to tell you about how I came to know the Psalms. I was in fifth grade, probably about 11 or 12. We weren't really churched much when we were growing up, but some kids in the neighborhood invited me to Wednesday night church. And I went, and there was a lady there who challenged me and another new person to memorize something for the reward of $100. It's a lot of money to somebody who's 11 or 12. And she wanted us to memorize Psalm 119, all 176 verses. We, of course, both said yes. She gave us a little Bible and that had Psalms at the end, and we took it home. And when I looked at it, I went, no, because there's no way I could memorize that much. I struggled with learning the multiplications for 6, 7, and 9. I was still working on those with my dad at this point. So, no, that was not going to happen. So, when I went back and she asked me how it was going, I told her I couldn't do it. So, she asked me if I would be willing to learn just one verse. And I said, yes, I would. I could do that. And so, the verse she assigned to me was Psalm 119, 105. Thy word is a lamp unto my feet and a light unto my path. I went back a couple weeks later and she again found me. She sought us out every single time and she asked me how it was going and if I had memorized it. I said yes, and I did my little thing and I said it. And she gave me $1. But what she told me next was this was the life verse that God was giving me and that I should remember it all the days of my life. We moved away and I lost that connection. The next encounter with the living God was during an exceptionally dark and desperate time in my life where I just didn't want to continue the daily struggle of living. I heard all the time. And the bottom line is if God had not prompted me to pick up a dusty, discarded book that was on the bottom shelf of a catch-all bookcase, I would not be making this video. I would not have graduated from high school, married, or had children. I would have died in my trespasses. Yes, I was churched here and there, but I didn't know or understand Jesus, his passion, his death, his resurrection, or what any of those things meant to me. In that dark pit where I dwelled, that dusty book that God had me pick up was a Bible my aunt had left with my parents 13 years ago when she got married. I don't know why she left it, but when I opened that Bible, it was to the Psalms. And here I met a person who was able to literally pen what my life and my mental state was. But there was a difference. He was appealing to a God who cared, who listened, and who intervened in the sorry state of the writer's life. This gave me hope. Somebody was hearing my cries, and during the season of doom and gloom, it was my sojourns into Psalms that stayed my hand and kept me in the land of the living and breathing. It was not until 2 years later that a fellow student invited me to a concert where I learned the truth about having a relationship with that living God. I confessed my sins. I believe that Jesus did die for my sins, and I confessed Jesus as the Lord and Master of my life, and it was a pivotal moment. And yes, things got better, and then they got worse because I made stupid choices along the way, and I wandered off into the pleasures of the world. But God has always cast his net of love after this wandering sheep, and he brought me back into the fold, and he always has. Thank you for your patience. Please continue on to segment number 3.